everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karel, and the last video I took, was it the last one? I'm not sure, but I promised you that I would do a book review, so here it is. I told you that I was going to read, which one? What did I say? Epictetus. So, I hope I'm not missing out anything. Anyway, I told you that I was going to read Don Quixote. I'm not sure how you pronounce this. I think it's Don Quixote based on how it's written. In Spanish the X is written as no, was it J? I'm not sure, but I heard it being said as Don Quixote, but I want to say Don Quixote because it is how it is in my native language. It's Don Quixote. Also, I read Epictetus, Discourses and Selected Writings, Siddharta by Hermann Hesse. I've also read a bunch of other books, but I don't think... Maybe I will briefly mention them. So, first things first, I want to start with beloved Don Quixote. I didn't expect to like it this much. At first, it was just a good book, an entertaining book. But as the pages passed, I began to see Don Quixote and Sancho Panza, his squire, as my friends. It was a delightful feeling, you know. This book tells a story about a man who is kind of delusional and has read so many books about knights. So he wants to become one. He finds himself a squire, which is Sancho Panza, and their story begins. So Don Quixote is a good and naive man. He recreates, I think, the stories he has read. For example, I think everyone knows that he mistakes the windmills as giants or dragons, and he fights them. He mistakenly creates environments that he can act on. For example, he sees some passengers and he thinks of them as people who is abducting the princess or whatsoever, and he declares war on them. So the stories are hilarious. This is a really good book. Cervantes really did an amazing job. Actually, the book I'm holding is around 500 pages. I found out that the original books are almost like 1000 pages. So this is somehow shortened, and I actually want to read the longer version as well, because when this book ended, I felt sentimental. And Sancho Panza is a very honest man. He's not as delusional as Don Quixote. He sees that Don Quixote is not mentally stable, so he tries to stop him from time to time, and he tries to make Don Quixote see the reality. But of course, Don Quixote always rejects the reality. That's really funny. He doesn't want to see the truth, and I think it's noble in a way that he doesn't let go of his dream, being a knight. He keeps going no matter what everyone tells him. Siddharta, Hermann Hesse. So this is a story about a monk who has had enough of being taught and wants to experience everything himself, so he can come to a conclusion, a lesson by himself. So he experiences love and money and etc. And in the end, everything comes together very well, and you understand that everything was there and experienced for a reason. So I recommend this. It is a very short book. Everyone can. It's like 140 or 50 pages. I recommend this. Other books I told you that I was going to read is Epictetus, Discourses and Selected Writings. As I've told you in my previous video, Epictetus is a philosopher, is a Stoic philosopher. who thinks that no matter what happens in life, we must keep going, and as long as we keep our attention on the stuff that we can control, that we have control on, we will be content. For example, I want to read some of the sentences from here that I have marked. What decides whether a sum of money is good? The money is not going to tell you. It must be the faculty that makes one of such impressions. Reason. Reason, in addition, takes the measure of music, grammar, and the other arts, judging their benefit and deciding when it's the best to use them. So it's about impression. Nothing is good or bad, but it's how we perceive them. So here he says, I must die, but must I die bowling? I must be put in chains, but moaning and groaning too? I must be exiled, but is there anything to keep me from going with a smile, calm and self-composed? By the way, this book is not written by Epictetus himself, but his student, what was his name? Arian, his student Arian. He wrote down every word he said during his lessons, teachings, and this book came together eventually. So Epictetus is a freed slave. So this is also very interesting. Nothing is good or bad until we put value on them, until we see and judge them. Someone is saying, but my nose is running. And Epictetus says, what do you have hands for, idiot, if not to wipe it? So now he says, the other one, but how is it right that there be running noses in the first place? Epictetus says, instead of thinking up protests, wouldn't it be easier just to wipe your nose? If we saw things differently, we would act differently, in the line with our different idea of what is right and wrong. So why take on burden of matters which you cannot answer for? You are only making unnecessary problems for yourself. This is an illuminating book and I recommend this. Other books I've read, it is a fun children's book, a French book. It's Le Petit Nicolas, voisins. This was really fun. It is like, it reminded me of the Horrid Henry series in English. It's kind of like that, but Horrid Henry, in my opinion, is better. So I read Stephen King, Pet Semetary. I love Stephen King. I read some books by Colin Hoover. It's Ugly Love and Confessions. What is it? Confess and Ugly Love. This I don't love. I didn't love. I don't recommend it. I wouldn't read it. So I'm not going to talk about that one. It was very... I didn't care for the characters. This is why. So Ugly Love, it's... I think this was a fun read, easy read, and I read it very quickly. The story was good, storyline was good. Could it be better? Yes. But still, if you were into romance books, this may be a good choice for you. I read a poetry book by Özdemir Asaf. He is a poet known for his famous romance poetry, and Lavinia is one of them. So Özdemir Asaf is actually, I think, my favorite poet, Turkish poet. This is my newest read, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This is also a mystery book. There's a girl who is very depressed. She gets fired, she gets divorced, but she has given up on life. She takes train rides all day because she is lying to her roommate that she goes to job every day. Still, her roommate doesn't know that she is fired. On her way there, she always sees a couple and she fantasizes about them. She writes this story in her head, how they are a couple, about how a happy couple they are, how they are living their life, and blah blah blah. The woman in the couple disappears. This girl has a problem with sobriety. She she's alcoholic. So the day that that woman gets lost, she is also very drunk, and she comes home with like a scar on her head, a bump, and blood. So she's trying to solve this mystery, if she did something to that woman, or is there another one involved, who is the killer, etc. This is a good book, you can read this. The last book I'm going to talk about is Jack London's Martin Eden, and this is a very good book. It's about a man who is from the working class. He is a seaman, he is very good at his job, and he enjoys life, and he hasn't thought about his class or the upper society until one day he gets in a house, and then he meets a woman. The woman is from the higher society, and he falls in love with her. He knows that he can never be with her unless he is the same class as her. He works and studies and reads tremendously, and he makes a great progress. Sorry, my battery died, so I have to keep going on my phone. So I was talking about Martin Eden. This book tells about his struggles, his inner thoughts, and his process of moving to the higher class, and it's very interesting. He becomes this over-intelligent man. As he becomes more cultured and more intelligent, he actually sees that the people he idolized is not actually people that he can look up anymore, and he sees the hypocrisy. And it's a very good book, I recommend this. I think we have come to an end. I showed you most of the books I have read so far since my last video. Did I? Yes? No? Did I talk about Albert Camus? I told that in my last video. I told you that I was going to review this as well. This is a very short read, and I recommend it. This is about Albert Camus' Stranger. By the way, the name I have to put this here. But this is so low. So there is this man, and he is very stranger to himself, stranger to the society that he is in. He doesn't pursue things as the others, so this makes him a stranger. The book starts with mother is dead. Mother is dead. Maybe yesterday, I don't know. I got a call. It's not call, I'm just making direct translations at the moment. This is Turkish, so the words will not be the same as the book. I got a call saying your mom passed away, the funeral is tomorrow. You cannot understand anything from this, maybe she died yesterday. He seems as an insensitive person or a bad person, but actually he is not. He's just different. And in the book there's a murder going on, and they accuse this man. I'm not trying to give spoilers, but I don't know how to tell otherwise. I don't think this is a spoiler. So there's a murder, and they accuse the protagonist, but not because he murdered that man, but because of his reactions earlier. Very interesting, I recommend you to read this. Also, it's a good idea to mention The American Psycho by Bret, Easton, Ellis. This is a brilliant book. It's not meant to be funny, but it is funny at times, because the antagonist, I think it's antagonist, right? Because this is the madman, he murders everyone. So the antagonist he just kills for fun. He's just so obsessed with being in the upper class, having the nicest meals, having the nicest tuxedos, and the nicest house. He's just bored in his life, and there's so much hypocrisy going on between his friends. So he works in the Wall Street, and everyone looks the same, everyone tries to do the same thing. So actually the author wanted to do a mockery of these kind of people, like from the Wall Street, and thinks they are the best, and who are conceited and arrogant and looks down on people. I really recommend, even though it's kind of a long read. You can read it quickly because the storyline is good. Even though this is probably not the intention, it's very funny. So yes, you should read this one. That's all. I've talked a lot, and thank you so much for listening to me. For my next review, I'm going to read where was it? I'm going to read. Actually, I haven't decided yet. I'm going to read Dante's Inferno for sure. But for the other books, I'm not really sure if something comes to my mind before I upload this video. I'm going to edit this and write this here or somewhere. And you can always recommend me books. And if you have read any of the books that I have mentioned, please tell me your opinions. I would be very pleased to read those as well. Thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to me. Thank you so much. Bye bye.